So this was the Mark Wheeler that arrived at Stantonbury, a kind of all singing, not all dancing, but all singing, all piano playing Mark Wheeler. And part of my role was to work with the youth theatre. And the youth theatre produced a number of musicals. Child Power was the first, an adaptation of Mordecai Richler's Jacob Tutu Meets the Hooded Fang storybook for children. Nick Mason wrote a very traditional script and some lyrics. We then did Blackout, I'm going to come back to that, and then did Fame Game, which was a group devised production about a rise to fame. And I got students to write the songs for this, which completely did me out of a job, so I thought I'm never going to do that again. And my job again was to write the music. Very excited by that because we managed to get someone to come in and do this incredible set with these sparkly things at the background. And then the final production we did, there's me being Mr. Director. And the final thing we did was an adaptation of the children's book, The Didikoi. We called it Kizzy. And we did some footage on that, so we started to have movie film and still pictures behind that kind of Brechtian idea. And that was written by Richard Kitchen, the guy with the camera there. And you could see Dave Nurse, who was my right-hand man. That became something in youth theatre, that I had a student who would be the person who helped me and did so much, and Dave was that person. And there was another girl called Shiny Hussein who also did a huge amount on the musical side, particularly in the acting, to just be really supportive and take a bit of the weight off my shoulders. There were others as well. Blackout, very, very interesting, because this, I think, really was the start of what I ended up doing, and it also ended up being published. So I didn't have anybody to write the script. Richard hadn't turned up. Nick was working hard on the Sunday Times, and I felt I couldn't keep asking him. So I got a group together, and we put on, here we are, this is the little group. We improvised scenes from a story based very much on my mum's story of evacuation. And we put this together. So I came up with a story, and then we split it down, and people improvised the scenes. I tape recorded them and then took those tapes away and used those tapes to create a script. So I wasn't actually writing, but I was nicking lines from students who were youth theatre members who were, and here we are, this is the original handwritten script of Blackout. And again, I had songs that I'd written. We started off with 3 from the 4R production, and I used the improvised tapes to give me the basis for the scenes. So that was the beginning of my transcription, which I was later to use with the verbatim plays, and came up with scripts from a number of different versions of improvised scenes, which just protected me into writing. And it was really successful, sufficiently so that Anglia TV said they'd come and film the dress rehearsal. I don't think they ever did, but it was very exciting that they'd do that. And we put the production on. It was put on at Stantonbury, 15p for the programme. Blackout, lots of evacuees, opportunity for a huge cast, and stunning reviews. I mean, we got absolutely amazing reviews for it. Youngsters shine through the Blackout. And I can remember thinking, the Blackout, it's a lovely universal story, because my mum said to me on occasions, we would never have sent you to be evacuated like my parents did me. She sent me to boarding school, or my mum and dad sent me to boarding school. It was very much the same thing. And then the young girl who was playing the central character in Blackout said one day, I can remember, middle of rehearsals, we'd gone to a fish and chip shop, which was on site at Stantonbury, and she said to me, this is very much like my situation with my mum and dad who have split up. And it had so many universal themes. It was a story that I was determined to use again, and I took it with me to my next job. Interesting that I'm doing this today, and today is the day that I've just had the first song sent to me by Jack Simmons, as we're producing it ready for an Australasian publisher, and we'll also have it available in the UK. So Jack, good luck with the work you're doing on it. It really fits very neatly as the very first kind of proper Mark Wheeler production. And then I got a job in Epping, and I left Stantonbury. I was sad to go, but I was very, very excited to go to Epping and start there. There's going to be one more little bit of Stantonbury, because in the background something else was going on that I'd purposely ignored, but I wasn't able to ignore it, and it's something along with Blackout that I took with me to Epping.